In terms of online audition, I would love to suggest that everybody do the very best you can in terms of recording equipment or location. It is actually now not so difficult, for most of us, not so difficult to find a semi-professional studio where you could record with good sound quality. Somehow the online quality in terms of sound and visual is so critical. It does not need to be formal concert attire. It doesn't need to sound like it's a professionally produced video, but it has to actually sound good. And I think with today's technology and somehow capacity, do the very best you can, obviously, so that you know that as an audience member, when you look back, you think that does represent me. I think that's really important. I would always say I'm thankful I'm not a brain surgeon, because that's very difficult. But with a violist, if I miss my shift, I can do it again. But at least I tried. I think, when we are so afraid of so-called mistakes, it's so impossible to actually arrive at that next level. Who was it? Wasn't it Edison who tried 1,000 times to make a light bulb happen? It's 1,000 times failure, right? But then there he goes. It's the same as when we play. It's the same with making a phrase sound as beautiful as you want, making a shift and go for the gesture, go for the drama. For instance, the Strauss is a huge story. He wrote a symphony based actually on the Eroica symphony. He wanted to write a hero symphonic poem like Beethoven. Who is the hero? He says not him, but we all think it's him. And inside there's a theme on the hero, there's a theme of the female companion, there's the battle. It's such a rich story. And if you get inside, you go, whoa, that's the hero. I want to be the hero. I am the hero, right? And that's a different you from the you that's maybe somebody like Dvorak, who traveled from Czech Republic to America, where everything is new. And for the first time, he hears gospel in the black church. He's inspired by the spirituals. And these are such fantastic ways to dream and carry your story and voice forward, because we're very lucky. Because we're musicians, we get to be so many different characters inside our art. So please don't be afraid to take risks, and just use your great imagination to connect with history and with stories and make something incredibly fun for yourself. Auditioning, whether it's Bach or chamber music or orchestra, there are what we think of as triangular 3 areas of your music presentation. But in fact, it comes from the same place, and it needs to honor certain integrity that I think each of you, in fact, already have. I think to be a good musician, it is about listening, it's about being authentic, and it's about actually knowing your material well enough so that when you're performing and presenting, we can hear what is not there. We can hear what is in your mind. Taking for an example, interpreting Bach, playing Bach these days has become such a fantastic journey of studying and traveling back in time. We now have incredible resources in terms of history, in terms of their equipment, Baroque sensibilities, sound priorities. These are things that were in really different contexts and different conversations from what you would use for your concerto or for your romantic sonatas. So I think for anybody who's genuinely curious and wants to get to the heart of the music that they're studying, you will spend time learning about the dances. You will spend time learning about the period sounds. And there's such unlimited resources online nowadays. And the resources, in fact, I would say, try to not run to the most popular recording you can find on YouTube right away, because that's not going to teach you what you want to say. I often suggest to my students, let's say if you're playing a sonata by Brahms, you should be listening to Brahms symphonies and Brahms quartets, Brahms songs, Brahms piano works. And then you can come back to look at the stuff that you're learning and say, what do I think? How can I bring my own personal voice into this and interpret it from all the wealth of his other works? So same with Bach, whether it's a violin solo sonata, partita, cello suites, what you should be listening to are the English and French suites on the keyboard. What you should be listening to are the chorales and all of its choral music. And then do enough research so that we understand how pulse can somehow influence how a dance comes across. So in Baroque music, I would say prioritizing sound sensibility, a sense of what you're playing. It's incredibly rich music in Bach. Hello everybody, I'm violist Hsin-Yun Huang. 大家好，我是中提琴家黄欣云。Welcome to Taipei Music Academy and Festival 2023. It is a huge privilege to be able to join this world-class music festival from the island that I'm from.